welcome to the Titus and Sergio Variety Hour podcast. With 48 hours to go in the trade period, there's still a chance that both of us can find new homes. I'm Sergio Paradise, and here he is, the new co-host of the Today Show, Titus O'Reilly.
Oh, thank you, and great news is I get paid the same as Carl being a bloke. Straight away, they just...
$2 million a year.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
so I won't be doing this podcast anymore.
No, but you made the ask. I've asked for a transfer to the Outer Sanctum.
I heard they're very keen.
I don't think... I won't stand out there at all.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
They're actually looking to provide a platform for a white male to have a view on footy. Because the voice is so rarely here.
Well, exactly. I mean, the whole footy industry is crying out for a middle-aged white man to have
an opinion. Oh, it's been a crazy week. I feel like I work at Amazon now because I've been packing out books.
Oh.
Not in the good part of Amazon, like in the warehouse. I've been packing books for everyone who's bought a book.
Isn't
So
that
thank
what
you.
publishers are for?
Well,
doing that.
They're doing most of it, but I'm doing the ones that people who buy it through my website.
Right.
So I've got about 600 going out today. So
and what you don't know, he has a team of midgets forging his signature on them.
The work experience kids. They're not midgets, they're work experience kids, Serge.
Okay.
They're grade 2.
Yeah.
I find they're the best for packing. They've got little hands.
Yeah. You recruited them from one of the mines. It's a
right.
closed down coal mine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the great thing about all the climate change. There's all these coal miners that are starting to work. Now, just looking at our notes here, we've got a fair bit on. I should thank our supporters. So we had a couple more join up just today. So thank you to everyone who's joined up as a supporter. I've noticed our print off is printed double-sided, which is environmentally very sensible.
Yeah, but
throw it in.
Read it.
And also, I should also mention appearing in Melbourne at the Sports Writers Festival Sunday, October 29th. So it's not this Sunday, it's Sunday after, or maybe no, it's a bit further on than that. 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. I'll be on stage.
It is actually Sunday week.
It is Sunday week. Sorry, yeah. I'm losing track of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is Sunday week, and that's why I have you here, Serge.
Yeah.
Point out reality to me.
I'm all over dates and things like that. Yeah. There's not much I can do, but I can read a calendar
and to explain wait for age on a regular basis.
Oh yeah. Somebody will want me to do that again.
So the Sports Writers Festival, I'm going to be talking about blogging and tweeting and how.
Where's that being held? The Sports Writers Festival.
It's at it's in the city.
It's in Melbourne.
Yeah, I think it's at Ridges Hotel, I think, or something. So yeah, there's a heap of people doing it.
Good heads there.
Francis Leach is pulling it all together. So this is the third year. There's some up in Sydney too, some events. So it's actually very good. If you have any interest in sports writing and either getting into it or just a fan of it, it's worth getting along to. So I'll put a link in the podcast notes if people are interested. Now the trade update, you mentioned trades up front. It's all been happening.
It has.
Lockie Weller.
Sort of has.
Well, sort of. Yeah. Well, it's actually been busier than it started slow, but Lockie Weller. Now it says here in the article from the Herald Sun, Gold Coast have been left flabbergasted after Fremantle demanded pick number 2 for Wantaway Dockers midfielder Lockie Weller.
Wantaway.
I was about to say flabbergasted and Wantaway in the one sentence.
Oh,
I think that was Sam Edmonds who wrote that. So top points.
Yeah, they're working hard there, or a sub-editor has tidied up that sentence a bit.
Flabbergasted is not a word you hear, is it?
It's not bad. Or Wantaway. Is that a word, Wantaway?
It is in the AFL. In the trade period.
Sure it is.
A bit like underground handball.
Yeah, I'm not sure it is in the Oxford Dictionary.
So they were asking, Lockie Weller has said he wants out of Freo, and it says here the Suns' excitement over a player wanting a trade home has been buried by what they privately believe is an extraordinary demand. So they've got all excited that someone doesn't want to leave them but wants to come to.
Yeah, and as he said, it's a trip home for him.
And so but now they've been upset that the Gold Coast the Freo want the number 2 pick, but don't they understand what an ambit claim is?
Yeah, exactly. The number 2's never going to go down the wire.
That's the first. Of course, they're going to ask for that.
And Gold Coast are going to other picks. They'll do it somewhere. Although you got to think Freo just don't want him to go, and they'll throw in the ambit claim and
So that's sort of going along there. Isn't that good though? That the Sun, someone wants to go to the Sun.
Yeah. Lucky well.
He must like surfing.
Yeah, he looks sort of type.
Got that surfing look.
Well, I guess all footballers look the surfing
Kind
type.
of.
No, they're all reasonably fit. They look good in a wetsuit or a pair of boardies.
Do they?
Oh, well, you'd assume.
This is an insight into your mind I hadn't seen before.
Have you ever?
How often do you picture these guys in boardies?
Oh, I occasionally park down the Beaconsfield Parade when they're doing their recovery.
The police. Someone calls the police.
Move along that bloke with the binoculars.
He's creeping them out. And you're like, oh, when the police are moving on, you're like, oh, first school's now this. You can't go near the beach. Adam Sard is asked to go to Essendon, or he has gone to Essendon.
He has done.
He's got out of the Gold Coast. Essendon's traded its 2018 second round selection, and they say he'll add pace as well as a defensive mindset to their halfback line.
Everybody who picks up a player, they're just a gun, and they're exactly what they've been looking for.
And that's great, isn't it? That's what you want, a defensive mindset and pace.
And searing pace.
Searing pace.
Yeah, searing pace. And he's not
mildly warm pace.
But he was a want-away Gold Coast to Essendon.
He was another one-way. Do you think the Gold Coast were, Essendon were flabbergasted when Gold Coast asked for a second-round pick?
For next year. Next year's second round. But as they say, and they all say this, next season's draft selection. This one doesn't bat that deep, but you wait till next year. Oh, it's
next year's draft's apparently amazing, everyone's saying, so we take that with a grain of salt. Someone that's having a terrific time at the moment is Jake Stringer.
Yes.
He's, let's just say, slightly damaged goods at the moment.
Well, he is. He's been beaten from pillar to post by first his ex-girlfriend and now the Bulldogs.
Well, it's his ex-wife, isn't it?
Well, ex-wife. I didn't know they were married.
She's definitely had a crack at him, but he's definitely given her all the ammo to do it. I mean,
absolutely.
She's not exactly making up stuff or pointing out nonsense. It's fairly serious, some of the stuff, and it sounds like he's fallen out with all his teammates.
And Luke Beveridge as well. So, I mean, he's trying to get to Essendon, and even though, the Bulldogs go, well, if we can't do a deal, we'll have him back. He and his management have said, well, he ain't going back.
They can't, but...
And he's threatened to sit out of footy for you, which would be stupid. He won't do that.
Well, he pretty much did this year. How would you notice?
It's still got these big paper.
So it's apparently it's gone from bad to ugly trade. Because Essendon said that they offered pick 11 and a third round selection, 48 for Stringer, but the Bulldogs knocked that back. So since then, pick 11's been taken off the table by Essendon and actually traded it away to get Devon Smith.
Devon Smith, yeah.
Who's another Greater Western Sydney future superstar, apparently.
Will he bring searing pace and a defensive mindset to the Bombers?
That's right. He's going to slot in perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. It was just what they wanted.
So that's what's happening there. So now that's the thing. It's a lot more complicated because they don't really have. There's pick 25 and 30 at the draft, and one of them they've sent off to Sard, so they've really almost got nothing left.
Well, there's some talk this morning that they might bring West Coast into it, and because West Coast have got pick 13, and hopefully they might get that pick 13 and trade that to Gold Coast and mix up a couple of other draft picks or something. It all goes over my head.
You've been listening to trade radio, didn't you?
No, I haven't. I find them on Twitter. I find that more.
Just give me the actual.
That's not watching paint dry.
So that's all. So that's all. So the string one, and what were you mentioning? You were telling me before we came on air, and I did see this briefly, but
his dad came out.
This is Stringer's dad.
Stringer's dad, and on one hand, understandably, he stuck up for his son and said, "Look, he's been going through the mill. He's been portrayed as damaged goods, as you said, and it's just all a bit unfair. And they hate him down at West Bulldogs, and he's a premiership player, blah blah blah." And then Jack Watts' dad come out, Andrew Watts, and said much the same thing. Oh, Melbourne have handled it badly. They've made him out, and you can see this is where Andrew Watts' dad has got a good education like Jack. He said he's been portrayed by the Melbourne Footy Club as a reprobate and a misfit, quote unquote, and which is probably a little unfair.
Was he flabbergasted?
Oh, he didn't use that phrase, but I think he did suggest that wherever he goes, Jack could bring searing pace and a defensive mindset.
He definitely can't bring a defensive mindset.
The question is, do you ever want your mum and dad involved in those sort of things?
Not really. No, not when you're an adult. Maybe when you're in grade 3.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's coached junior footy knows you have to go through that.
My thing about this, right, is... So Watts, I said this the other week with Watts. There's no good way for this to have gone down, really. It's like a breakup.
Yeah.
They've told him they don't want him, and he's not been through about that.
Yeah.
And fair enough, but how are they meant to do it in any other way? Like secretly try and trade him?
Well, that's right. I mean,
and then he finds out anyway? Like
it's either open or
I don't know
not.
how the good way this was going to really play out. I don't know the alternative scenario where he... Unless they said, we want to trade you, and he went, great.
Fine.
But he didn't.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference between the players who want out, the want-away players, and the want-to-stay players.
The want-to-stay. And so that's the thing. Like, so I could never see with the Jack one. Of course, it's a breakup, basically, and he's not happy about it. I mean, if you break up with someone who was about to dump you anyway, they're like, yeah, great, this has saved me the awkward conversation. But that wasn't the case. Then the other one with the Stringer one is the Dogs made it clear they were sick of it. Right?
Yeah.
But they didn't go into any of the detail. It was his ex-wife who went into detail, and people have debated whether that was right or wrong and all that. So, but it wasn't the Dogs that did that. It was his ex-wife. So they can't control what family members are going to say.
No.
So it's not like the Bulldogs have portrayed him as
it's like
a reprobate.
Jack Watts doesn't have a vindictive ex-girlfriend or something,
Well, but it didn't sound to me like she was necessarily... I mean, she's not necessarily vindictive. It sounds like all the things she said are facts.
Oh, yeah. It's not like she was making it up. It's just her timing was pretty good, you've got to say.
Oh, yeah. Her timing was good, but,
So, I mean, who knows? I mean, I still reckon the Stringer deal to Eston will get done in the next day or two.
But they're not going to offer him very much, are they?
But, well, if they bring West Coast in that complicated
scenario... But he played
scenario,
terribly this year. Like, he's on his potential, like, he's great. But you're bringing in someone that you know is terrible culture. He's fallen out with his whole team.
But even just last year in the premiership year, he was up and down. He was nearly dropped, or he was dropped, and Beveridge was happy. He only snuck back into the side before the final.
Yeah,
and then he played pretty well in the finals and kicked a couple of goals in the grand final.
Yeah, but he's hardly been like for what his potential is. He's an erratic player who has put his whole team. Who sounds like he's got some serious culture issues. Yeah. So why would anyone be offering him like... I mean, the fact that Bulldogs turned around to 11 for him, I think that's true, is amazing. Yeah. Well, they're a basket case, the Western Bulldogs.
They are, aren't they? They're in disarray.
They're in disarray. It's all over for them.
I was actually talking to a bloke on Saturday who's a big Bulldogs fan and is fairly well connected down there. And he actually said, there's a lot going on down there. Or there's factions. Once there's factions involved,
never good fact.
The next thing, as you said, the footy first mob, Richmond will be down there to try and sort things out.
Well, they can fix it without even doing anything, so they're well worth getting involved.
They could get Neil Barn down.
That's their only way of operating. The Mongrel Hunt wrote in, who will be the first player to use the excuse, I just want to be further away from family, as a reason for an interstate trade?
Oh, I haven't seen that. That is a terrific question.
That is a great question.
Yeah. Wouldn't you love to hear a player say that?
Yeah. Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
I only want to leave, Essendon because my family live in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I want to trade to Perth.
Yeah.
Either of the Perth clubs.
Yeah. Or Brisbane, Gold Coast, I don't care.
If there was a team in China, I'd go there.
Mum's a pain in the ass. Dad's been on my back about playing footy since I was 8
was it
years
Jack
old.
that up in Sydney who had those issues with his parents? Kieran Jack had that. He probably would have preferred to be in another state. It sounded like it's at certain times.
But you would love to hear somebody say that.
Oh yeah.
Move home? Oh no.
Well, maybe all the
Why do you think I put myself in the draft?
You probably don't hear about it, but the players that are Melbourne-based and other, who are in other states, who are like playing away from their state, who are completely happy.
Yeah.
There must be a few of them that are completely happy because of that very reason. Oh, I'd love to come home, Mum, but hard.
I'm on contract.
Yeah. Binding.
Yeah, you can't break the contract.
And the mum's like, well, I'm hearing so and so are interested. He's like, oh no, that's just rumours.
Yeah, but mum's going, but all the players moving a contract. Yeah, but I'm an honourable man. I'll stick with my
I'm
contract.
just not getting no other offers.
Yeah,
but you're the Brownlow medalist. Well, Patrick Dangerfield came home to be closer to family.
Well, that's right, but he was coming home to a pretty good spot. He's coming home to live on the beach down Moggs Creek.
You think
that's better than most joints?
Yeah, if it's an industrial wasteland, people are a bit less keen.
Yeah.
Craig Taylor wrote in, is the NAB trade period long enough?
Well, no, Craig, it's not. we would happily see it go for another month. I'd like to see the trade period go for long enough that every player in the AFL ends up changing his team.
Right.
So 800.
Well, do you think they should all go
at
the end of every season? Every player goes into a draft.
Yeah, into a big barrel.
Barrel with Chook Lotto.
Yeah, and every player has their name on a ping pong ball.
See, my one is the way to make trade week more interesting is it's a Tinder-like app.
Yeah.
So players can swipe left or right depending on their interest in the club, and if the club also has swiped right, I don't know which way you swipe. Yes, on Tinder. I think it's right, but I could be wrong. I could be doing it wrong. But whatever way it is, that would work.
That would work.
And the young players are used to it.
Yeah, and then the player and the team, if they both swipe
the same way,
I think then they come to a deal.
Yeah, they come to a deal.
Yeah. But
they commence negotiations.
Yeah. Hang on, just while we're on that, I think this is the same Craig Taylor who attacked me yesterday for using one of his questions last week and not crediting him.
Well, you did mention that it was a question you read. You just couldn't remember who said it.
So apparently
you did acknowledge it was a question.
It was Craig Taylor.
He's right.
It was a brutal, nasty question at my expense, and then he accuses me of plagiarism for using it without crediting.
Well, that's true. You did plagiarise someone abusing you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can plagiarise an insult directly to you.
I'm not sure.
Because you're sort of part part author almost.
Well, I look back at legal studies, and I don't think plagiarism extends quite that far. So, Craig, you've been mentioned. Get stuff.
Callan Kildare. Now, there's an Irish name.
He'd know his way around it.
Now that Trade Radio...
Erling Field.
The stereotypes. Imagine a hurricane in Ireland.
I know. That's
climate change out of control. You're not meant to have that.
No. Sir.
Frost.
Yeah.
Is meant to be
frost and
potato famine.
Rolling mist.
Mist. My favourite whiskey.
Over the green potato fields of Northern Ireland.
Rolling mist. That's going to be in your new cover band. Callan Kildare has written in, now that Trade Radio is coming to an end, how will I get my daily fix of 11 hours of nothing happening?
It's not a bad question.
You can go back and listen to all our back episodes.
The one thing about Trade Radio, and who is it? It's Damien Barrett. And
I've never listened to Trade Radio.
No, I've never listened to it, but it's Damien Barrett and the list manager.
That's right,
Plough.
Hence why I've never listened to it.
Yeah. And
which is Terry Wallace.
Yeah, Terry Wallace. To be fair, they're sitting there talking into mics, and they both know they have nothing to talk about for the next 4 hours.
Well, they just come up with conjecture this could work. The thing is, I'm waiting for it.
But then they tweet their conjectures and that
as well, so you don't even have to listen to it.
There's thousands of people going, "Oh, you blokes got no idea what you're talking about."
The thing I like about it is when it's going to become a 24/7, 365-day-a-year radio station.
Yeah.
Still outrate SEN. So I don't know how you get your fix with nothing happening. It is absolutely... The list manager, I think, we've got a few questions.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Chris has written in, if someone can call themselves the list manager and immediately become the draft oracle, despite all historical evidence to the contrary, can I change my Twitter handle to the brain surgeon and start dispensing neurological advice?
GIF.
Well, yes, that's what Twitter's for.
Well, I was about to say, Chris, I'm not sure if there's too many people on Twitter who go behind a false name and offer stupid opinions on things. I just don't think it happens very often.
The great thing about Terry Wallace making himself the list manager and doing all this stuff is, one time made a joke on Twitter about him.
Yeah.
And he got fired up and started firing back, going...
Did he?
Yeah, going, the reason I call myself the list manager is since I left Richmond, I put into place... I realised I didn't know much about it. I didn't have the support of the club. The club didn't give me any support in recruiting, so I decided to learn about it. Then all these Richmond supporters dove on him, going, "Oh yeah, throw everyone else under the bus at Richmond, Terry, like you always do." And they just all piled on. The Richmond supporters have not forgotten Terry.
No, the Richmond supporters, as we've found out recently, they've got long memories.
They've got long memories, and they remember that Terry did a lot of harm at their club. And this idea that, he didn't know then because he said, because I didn't get the support I needed, and now he's the
list manager.
The list manager.
I must admit, he's a good bloke, Terry, but I must admit, calling yourself the list manager is a bit like giving yourself a nickname.
Yeah, it's right up there. Like Dean Robinson at the Essence scandal, the weapon. The one thing that I found most amazing about that is he gave himself that nickname.
Yeah, nobody else did.
That should have been the red flag before they even went down that path. Yeah. Anyone that gives themselves, unless it's it's a self-appreciated,
deprecating,
ironic kind of nickname. Yeah. Maybe that works, but otherwise, especially one like the weapon.
Yeah, it's like when George Costanza working for the New York Yankees, and he told all the staff at the baseball club that from now on he was to be known as what was it? T-Bone. T-Bone. I'll call you T-Bone.
It's pretty bad. Getting into trade radio, Daniel Clogger wrote in, the T-shirt nominated me as a recipient of choice. Market value suggests I only need to send you now a sentence or Andrew Swallow to win it. This is his trade deal for a T-shirt.
Right. Daniel, sure.
He's really thought this out.
Maybe Daniel should be called the list manager.
He is the list manager. A distinguished guy wrote in, if Watts rejoins Tumpus at Port, is there any chance the Power have money left to redraft Colin Sylvia?
I think they want to be in a bit of a hurry.
Did you see it broke on while we were on our last podcast, it broke at the time that Colin had been arrested and we didn't know what for.
And we sort of laughed about it because it was outside a nightclub.
We thought it was, or it was near.
It
turned out he was stalking his ex-girlfriend and he was filming her while she slept.
Yeah. Strange.
Oh, just slightly.
So,
What's wrong with blokes? It's like I read that and then I read the Harvey Weinstein stuff and it's just like, what is wrong?
Oh, geez, where do you start? But, but you've got to think, Cole, filming her while she sleeps.
Filming anyone while they sleep, even if they're your current partner, is weird. It's super weird. Like, even if you're so in love with them, it's still super weird.
In the shower, perhaps, but not while they sleep,
So that's fine.
That's fine. With your current partner, I'm talking about Colin Sylvia's ex-girlfriend. Right. I wouldn't film her.
Or Colin.
Or Colin, for that matter.
Well, let's just cover this last question because then we'll get more into that theme. Peter Keneally wrote in, do you guys consider yourself to be a destination podcast?
No, we're a podcast for Wanderways.
We're both Wanderways, but no one else wants us. We're sort of just the leftovers. Getting back to What's with Guys and never film someone while they're sleeping, especially the Richmond Premiership medal scandal. So a Richmond player is in trouble over circulating a picture of a young woman wearing his AFL Premiership medal while she was naked. And he took the picture and said to her, don't worry, I'm going to delete it.
Yeah.
Which is one of those phrases that has never been true.
No. It's like the checks in the mail.
Don't make my homework. All of them, I'll delete it.
And the other one, say to your girlfriend.
I'll delete it. So he's then circulated to his friendship group, and this is my thing: is what is it with guys?
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Well, and immediately,
people are all blaming her, and I'm like, what I don't get about this is what I don't get. So he has a woman who's obviously I don't know whether it's his girlfriend or he's involved.
But he obviously knows her pretty well.
Right?
You know?
And she agrees to pose topless with his medal for him, and he takes a picture, right?
Yeah.
So he's on a good wicket there.
Yeah.
Why ruin it by then sharing it with his idiot mates, who then go and circulate it again? Oh. And that's a crime, what he did. It's not a crime what she did. So then people come out and attack her and say she should have known better, or
should have kept them.
You should have known what guys are like. And I'm like, this is where guys are so dumb. We are so dumb as a collective group, as an organisation, because it's in our interest as guys to protect someone and say it's fine to do that, because if you're saying women should never do that, you'll never see a naked woman in your entire life.
Exactly.
Like, blokes should be outraged at that.
Also, I mean, there's a whole lot of different things about this story. I mean, there's that one. The fact that, AFL players get more counselling and education about this sort of stuff than 90% of young men do, right? So there's no excuse for them to go, oh, geez, I didn't know about that, or I didn't know it was illegal, or I didn't think that would happen. Yeah. And then, the natural thing is he sends it to a few of his mates, teammates, or other mates. They send it to a few of them, and then it spirals out of control, to the point being, Saturday night, I was with a bunch of middle-aged dads, right, at a footy sort of thing, and we were talking about this, and one of them goes, I've only seen it with the black, line across the woman's breasts. Yeah. And about 4 blokes go, I've got them one here on my phone.
Jesus Christ.
It is fanning and gone everywhere. It'll be on the cover of Rolling Stone next week.
This is where, people don't get that what the player's done is illegal, and even they will investigate who are on board. It's just not okay. So they do it, and it's just ridiculous, that they do it. And it's going to be really interesting to see what Richmond do, what the police do, and what the AFL do.
If history is any indication, not much.
Do you reckon they might be a bit soft on it?
Oh, well, they'll huff and they'll puff, and I reckon the player who started the whole shebang, he'll probably get a suspension. But then other players,
the police will probably
charge it.
Because the thing here is, it was the same when when it happened to Dane Swan and Travis Blake. You can. The way it works is there is nothing illegal of you consensually having your photo taken nude between you and your partner or you and whatever. That's not people go, oh, you should never do that. You go, well, that's not the illegal thing, though. The illegal thing is
it's been around forever. That's why they invented Polaroids.
Exactly. And the thing is, I was of the generation where there weren't phones everywhere when I grew up. So no one, and now, the idea anyone would want a nude photo of me is ridiculous.
Well, take one now if you want.
Except when you feel me sleeping. So it's pretty common now. So you've got to protect the fact this is a common practice. Right? So it in itself is not illegal, and most young people, are doing it. And when you're young, you're kind of stupid, right? At the same time.
Of course you are. You're stupid and you're naive, and you're saying about the AFL players getting the education and the counselling.
Yeah.
I know even kids down to 12 years old now at schools are getting educated about this stuff.
Well, they have to, because
it's
got
that old. As soon as it's hit you send on, or it's on the internet, it's there forever.
But it's like on Facebook. People have all their photos going back years now. Yeah. They've been on for a long time, and they've got pictures of them at nightclubs and all that sort of stuff. When I was going to nightclubs regularly, the only place you'd ever be was maybe in Beat magazine. They had the pull out of all of it.
Those little mini
black and white photos,
taken by Jim Lee.
Yeah, that's right. So it was in the street press, and yet, so if you're sort of over 30, right, a bit older, 35, you've got no record of that. You're pretty safe. But it's a different world now, so you have to have laws in place to protect people's privacy, because there's just so many. There's thousands of photos. It doesn't have to be nude photos.
No, there's thousands of
drunk photos,
stupid photos. Well, what do you reckon is going to happen? Because the police investigation will come to a halt, or be wound up sooner or later.
The problem with this for the AFL is you can't be pushing, and it was a bit like what they did with left lean. you can't be pushing into this space of we're completely a safe environment for women and for all other groups, and we've got the AFLW happening, and we're doing all the upside due to that, and then when we're going to be kind of really soft on it. So I reckon it'll depend what the police find.
Yeah.
But then it'll probably have to be a significant suspension.
It's fairly cut and dried, the investigation. Once they find out...
Well, that's what the police said. They said they could trace it the whole way
As soon
through.
as they find out whose phone it was first sent from, bingo, job done.
They'd already know.
Yeah, of course they would. You know who's really at fault in all of this?
Yeah.
The AFL for giving medals to the players.
That's right.
If they hadn't given out premiership medals on the 30th of September, none of this would have happened.
This is why Richmond can't have nice things.
See? They waited 35 years to win a premiership, and they've spoiled it already.
The interesting thing is the woman involved has gone to lawyers and everything, so it's going to progress.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be
It's going to go on for a while. But as I say, I can't imagine the police investigation going on much longer.
No, I don't think it's going to be... They said that. They said it was
pretty black and white.
You know. So anyway, that's kind of... it's just one of those things where it's such a dumb thing to do, and like, maybe, you know, they were drunk and stupid and that, you know, they'd probably die and they could take it back. But you just...
These
is one
days,
of those things you just got to learn.
Don't do it.
Yeah. You know, but also, why share all that? Like, your mates are idiots. Everyone knows that. Everyone has got mates. But blokes know their mates are idiots.
Yeah, but
at the same time, they do stuff like this.
They've got it's a bragging thing. Yeah. It's like, I've got this chick, check her out, you know?
I know, but seriously, is that your mindset?
Not anymore.
No, I don't mean yours, but
you know when you...
Yeah, I know, but you don't... But but I know, but to, like, you know, you don't have to then... I mean, I don't think it instantly follows that you don't have to send... I mean, who's sending... Like, I just can't get the head around sending... Like, here you are with a young woman, you go, oh, I'll send the photos to all my mates.
Back in the day, you take a Polaroid of the girl sleeping and send that.
But why would you even do any of that? It just baffles me, like, the approval people are desperate for from their group of mates.
Yeah. Oh, it's
you see, your mates are idiots.
Yeah. Well, you're an idiot, and your mates are idiots. We're all idiots, basically.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. So you don't trust them.
No.
You know, why would you trust any of your friends with that? They keep it quiet, guys. Yeah, we'll keep it quiet, like you have.
Anyone in the world, you know.
Moving on to the soccer, Ange Postecoglou, it's been revealed this week that he's quite likely to potentially leave the Socceroos as head coach before the World Cup, whether they qualify or not.
After the Honduras game.
Yeah, now one of the things is he's, if he does better as expected, a soccer club in Shanghai, I believe, to have had a contract worth $3.8 million a year to try and get him across.
Or who could blame all that? I mean, in all seriousness, what do you reckon he gets paid? In Australia, for being the Socceroos coach, it certainly would be
less than $1 million.
Be certainly not close to $4 million. You're nowhere near it.
That's real money, almost.
That's podcast money.
So it depends what happened. Now it's been revealed he's going to stay around. They've got. Did you see the game they had against Syria?
I did watch that.
Was that the most boring bit of sport you've seen in years?
It was just. I remember thinking, halfway through the extra time period, it doesn't matter who wins this game. They're just making up the numbers. If either of these teams get to the World Cup, if either of these teams get to the World Cup, they fed it would have been like.
See, I'm a football.
Brisbane in the.
I'm a football fan, so I'm not one of those people that's like. I know a lot of people are like. I know a lot of people are just like football's boring no matter what.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most boring sporting things I've watched in years. Like the Socceroos were awful.
Yeah, they were.
They were just awful. Like Robbie Cruz was terrible. All their crosses.
Robbie Cruz was. Greg Louganis, I was calling him by the end.
But also all the crosses, every cross they did,
and missed.
It was terrible.
It wasn't for Timmy Cahill. I mean, and did you see the controversy over Timmy Cahill this last couple of days about his celebration after the match-winning goal?
No, what was it?
Well, he
did like a plane or something.
Yeah, he did the plane, then he did the usual run to the corner and punched the flag and all that. But then he held up his hands in like a T shape, like your classic timeout shape.
Right.
And I didn't even give it a thought. But apparently, they've said FIFA have come out and they want having an investigation because they think he was signalling a personal sponsor and that he was getting paid extra by his personal sponsor if he was to show the T on the field. And so FIFA, and get this.
Who's the sponsor?
I can't remember what it's called. It's not an Australian company. It's an international company.
Right.
And FIFA reckon that there's something a bit dodgy about this.
FIFA find it dodgy as long as the money's coming to them.
Well, exactly. If he run up to the sidelines and got a paper bag full of cash off somebody, it would have been fine. But showing the T, they're not happy. They reckon it's a bad look.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Dylan Walton wrote, is Ange Postecoglou quitting Socceroos coaching because he was forced to actually watch the game against Syria? I think that's pretty close.
Yeah, I think you're not far off the mark.
Gavin Howley wrote, Socceroos would be fine when Tim Cahill retires, right? No. Maybe they could get Jake Stringer.
Yeah. Will Anderson, I think, tweeted the other night after this game that he's looking ahead to the 2050 World Cup qualifiers when they bring out Tim Cahill's cryogenically frozen head and just throw it on the field expecting it to win the game.
He has saved us so many times.
Oh, he's a freak.
Now, it means that the Socceroos go on to try and get into the World Cups still. They have to play, we have to play Honduras.
In Honduras.
Which is first. And
the murder capital of the world.
Yeah. I've been to Honduras.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, you made it out of there alive.
I did, yeah. It wasn't...
Is it a dump?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just shot for joy.
The funny thing is, when I went through Central America, I went through all of Central America back in 2003. So this is a while back. And
this was during your drug mule phase.
Yeah, this is when I was running drugs. Yeah. I'm in Narcos.
Yeah.
So when I went through Central America, some of the civil wars had just stopped.
Right.
Like just stopped. So it was really
rough.
Good
timing
there was there was no tourism infrastructure much. Yeah. I remember in Honduras, they basically at night we just got locked in the hostel.
Right.
They said you don't want to go out.
It was like Narcos.
Yeah. So we just they shut these big gates and they'd barbed wire or in the hostel.
Not much safer now.
Yeah, so it wasn't, and there was going through the whole place, there was some pretty hairy moments.
Right.
So a lot of guns around, a lot of, so it's going to be interesting going there because the infrastructure is just not sort of like you'd expect here.
Well, wait till the Honduras team gets here and sees ANZ Stadium.
What a
You're
dump.
talking crumbling infrastructure. Lost Dumpos.
That's right, they're going to be, gee, this place is far from the city. Now, they've only lost 4 out of 25 home qualifiers in the last few qualifying for the World Cup since 2010. This is Honduras, so they're very strong at home. They've been to the last 2 World Cups. The first match is November 11th, and the second one back in Sydney. Of course, Sydney get it as always, because they forget there are other cities outside of Sydney. That'll be November 15th.
So tell me, what's the equation? Do we need to win both games?
Well, you need
an aggregate of goals.
Aggregate of goals. So
home and away and all that stuff.
If you win both, you're straight through. It only goes to aggregate if it's say 2 wins, 2 draws, and then away goals count 2 goals in that case. So if we draw over there but then win in Sydney, that's fine. So a draw would be great. Win over there would be terrific, especially if you get 2-1, because then those count more if you do tie. If they win the next one and not by as many goals. So that's how it all sort of works. So what happened is they're actually going to stay in Honduras. Now, what's happened when Gus Hiddink was in charge back qualifying for the 2006, remember we'd play Uruguay?
That's right.
Now, he was a canny
Yeah, he was.
He knew that we stayed in Argentina and flew in. We didn't sleep there at all because he knew that they sit outside your hotel room and they blow trumpets and toot horns and bang drums to try and make sure that their players get a good night's sleep who aren't at the hotel.
Gee,
that's what Uruguay
like, isn't it?
And they keep you up all night, setting on firecrackers and everything. and no one stops them,
Yeah.
So that's what they did the year before, so a couple of years before. So we're not doing that. We're just going to fly in and play the game, and then we're going to fly out.
Right.
And Qantas gave him a jet to fly out on.
So
then Gus, after the game, which I think we got out with the draw, and then we won in Sydney to go through, he then booked blocks of seats on every flight leaving from Uruguay to Sydney,
right?
So that it was really hard for the Uruguayans to get out and fly out.
He is a shrewd bastard.
Yeah, so
this is what we need. I was about to ask you, if we make it to the World Cup, but Ange
does leave,
Postecoglou,
well, there's talk that he's
who's going to coach us
in the talk he's free.
I
think they should get
Gus. They should get Gus.
But they should get Twitter.
Yeah.
The opinions on Twitter are pretty.
The list manager.
They'll get the list manager involved. He knows as much about soccer list management as he does about AFL.
And how will the Hondurans be when they get to Sydney? And firstly, they've got to play at ANZ Stadium, then they try and kick on down the cross.
Everything's closed.
Everything's shut.
So basically, it's going to be interesting because they're actually going to be based in Honduras to acclimatise and everything.
So still, 3 weeks away, that first game?
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be... I think Honduras is going to be very tough. But if we play the way we played against Syria...
Oh, we'll get our asses.
A lot of people are making out too, you got to remember, Syria going through a civil war and haven't been home most of the years. But then we're going through a pretty tumultuous, non-binding postal vote. So, we've all got our troubles.
Yeah, all that's right. I mean,
pretty amazing we're fielding a side.
The Syrians, there's no point guns at them at ANZ Stadium,
Well, that's true. Just the fact that their whole homeland has been destroyed.
Yeah, and then the fact
that could be a little
their families have probably been threatened, if they don't.
They're the one group that don't get homesick.
It was like back, remember, in Iraq when Saddam Hussein was in charge.
Yeah.
With the national soccer team, if they went overseas to play a game and they lost, nearly the entire side would just defect.
Yeah.
Because they knew.
Well, there was that Colombian goalkeeper that let in a goal and went home and got executed.
Yeah. The government just lined up your entire family.
Well, that was the Narcos. Speaking of the Narcos. So anyway, that's what's happening with the Socceroos. So, look, who knows? It's going to be hard to get through it. Yeah. So, anyway, if they do make it through, it's going to be they're going to want to live.
It'll be a hot time in Russia.
Oh, God. I can understand why the Socceroos don't want to go to Russia. Maybe they are trying to throw it, and then Tim Cahill hasn't got the memo.
Will Tim Cahill retire before Qatar, do you think?
Yeah, if he's smart, he will.
Yeah.
Brad Cater wrote in, how long do you think it will be before one of the spring racing carnival commentators refers to a jockey as having a basketball background?
Brad, I reckon it's a long time, just quietly.
Oh, you don't?
And I'm only going on size.
Yeah. Do you think? Well, but Billy Slater used to be a jockey.
Billy Slater?
Yeah, he used to be a jockey.
What he had a growth spurt?
Yeah, he got too big. Just slightly.
Think?
Yeah, seriously, that's true.
It's really?
Yeah, his whole dream was to be a jockey and all his seasons.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when he got to
got a bit
14,
bigger,
15,
I think so, and then started to play a bit of... I've actually got his biography. I was just looking through it the other day, but I already knew about the jockey bit. So that's kind of... Did you watch the racing on the weekend? They had the
Everest.
The Everest, and then they had it was kind of interesting watching all the Victoria versus Sydney rivalry coming through in the media. It was either the Everest was the greatest thing ever,
yeah,
or it was, and Melbourne were, the Melbourne, the Caulfield.
The Caulfield Guineas was sort of
should have been moved or moved around it and all that, or it was the Everest was the greatest success in the history of time, and depending on what paper it was and where they were based, there was all this angst about it,
which sums up one of the major problems with racing in Australia.
Yeah.
Is that there's, we complain that the racing clubs in Melbourne don't cooperate with each other enough. But when it comes to interstate, it's just absurd. And remember, I think it was early last year when we first heard about the Everest.
Yeah.
We were laughing about it on this podcast, this $10 million sort of almost winner takes all thing in Sydney. We're going, this will never get up, And it ended up being a massive success.
Yeah.
And look,
I think we were big for it. Let's not pull ourselves down.
Yeah, look, my point of view, I reckon that the Everest thing on Saturday is, good for racing in general.
To me, you can never have too many gambling opportunities.
Well, exactly.
Because it's just a surefire way to put a bit of money away.
Oh, look, just imagine if you'd had Red Zell in the Everest into whatever the horse was that won, the Caulfield Guineas, I can't remember, but it was 100 to 1. There's a double that you'd take any day.
Right, yeah.
So, you know,
that's what I had.
Yeah. Well, next year, look, Sydney, all you talk about the Everest, get off your ass and do what you plan to do. It was a great success, this first one. But the next one should be over the Harbour Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
1,200 metres from the Kale Expressway straight to the Manly exit.
That's always been the one we wanted to see.
Yeah.
Shane's written, if you could build a time machine, would you go back to 2009 and the 2008 draft? This is talking about what the Melbourne Football Club did in those drafts. Or just go back to the day you decided to go for Melbourne? That's a deep good philosophical question.
That's like Sophie's Choice, almost.
Because there's a lot of pain you would undo if you just decided not to go for Melbourne.
Yeah. But then...
you can't change teams even if you're going back in time.
No, that's
before you
rules.
Chose.
That's against the rules.
Because you've still got knowledge.
Yeah.
So I think you can't do that. I would like to go back to when someone said, let's get Gary Lyon to help choose our next coach. That would be the moment I'd like to get
lock him out of that room.
Yeah.
But so the thing is, you're right. Even if you could go back in time, you wouldn't change team. But if you did go back in time, that 20 or 30 years, just think it would be like Back to the Future. It'd be like the Big Dodgy Brother. You would know the winner of the Everest and the Melbourne Cup every year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
You would know that Reds was going to win the 2000.
Back to the Future.
Well, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
It's like the brother Buck.
The Sporting Almanac.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the all-time great trilogies. Do you reckon what's your favourite, the greatest movie trilogy of all time?
Oh, gee.
So it used to be Indiana Jones was in it, but then they added that fourth one.
Yeah, see, I even reckon...
But if you just go the original
I reckon
trilogy.
2 or 3 were pretty
Star Wars, the original trilogy.
Yeah. I've seen
Godfather Part 3's terrible.
Yeah.
But the Back to Futures are all pretty solid.
They're all pretty solid. I'd go back to the Three Stooges. Any three Stooges movies.
But you've got to do a trilogy of movies.
Or the Marx Brothers, A Day at the Opera, A Day at the Races.
Yeah, that's...
A Day Somewhere Else. I'm not sure of the third one.
Day Somewhere Else. Day at the NAB Trade Week. I feel we've gone a bit off topic. So thanks, Shane. That is a tough one to decide, but I think I'd go back to the draft and maybe lock Mark Neal out of the car that day.
Or maybe lock him in the car on a really hot day.
I don't know if it works. I think it only works for babies.
And dogs. Yeah.
Peter James.
Found that out the hard way.
There's got to be letters. Peter James wrote in, if I give you pick 11, pick 25, and a future third round selection, will you trade me one of your t-shirts and Sergio? Oh, yeah.
Well, I like the way you're thinking there, Peter.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to...
We'll consider that done.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that.
I'll get Lisa Wilkinson on board with pick 11 and pick 25.
Yeah. It's first and second round.
Yeah.
And a future third round.
The Bulldogs would turn it down.
Yeah, true. But maybe not.
Are you a want away? Do you want to be traded?
Oh, I'm in two minds. I certainly don't want to go home.
Yeah, that's the only reason you come do this podcast. Rodney Garner wrote in, has Sergio finished the Melbourne Marathon?
They're all about me this week.
They're always about you. They're like, has Sergio finished the Melbourne Marathon yet? Was he disappointed the drink stations didn't meet his expectations?
Well, there's two bits to that. The drink stations did, on one hand, did meet my expectations because the drinks were free.
Yeah.
But
it was water.
It was water and Gatorade. And look, I'll tell you this, Rodney, and this will surprise you. I did run the Melbourne Marathon when I was 20.
Did you?
Yeah. Did 4 and a bit hours.
Who was chasing you?
I had to change my number because
this was
before facial recognition, and they just used to stand at the finish line and check out the numbers.
But did you really run it?
That was in the days when it was you started at Frankston and you went up Beach Road.
Was Big M the sponsor back then?
It was, and all the Big M girls were down at the start.
Yeah,
and this is back in the day, exactly before the start. they were handing out big ends to everybody.
Really?
Yeah, guzzle big ends.
Because there's nothing better than before a marathon to drink a lot of milk.
Yeah, cold, milk
Flavoured
full of sugar. When you're about to run 42 k's, but you ran all the way to Beach Road from Frankston,
right?
And then you cut through St Kilda, and then went down St Kilda Road and finished at Flinders Street Station.
And so you did the whole marathon.
Yeah.
Was it hard?
Oh shit, yeah. Well, we'd come. It was about the same time of year as it is now.
Yeah.
So we'd come off a footy season where you're pretty fit.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 of my mates, we just kept up training, and we were running at training nights. We'd run 25 k's or whatever.
Right.
And we do 25 k's on the bit, so we go, this will be fine. But it's
the next bit.
The first 25's all right. It's the next 16 or 17 that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
But Melbourne Marathon, it is a tough go. That
I only do marathons on Netflix.
On Netflix, yeah, it's binge watching.
That's right. That's all I do. It sounds like a lot of effort.
Oh, it's a ridiculous amount of effort. You do it once, you never do it again.
Yeah. I think people run marathons just so they can put a picture of themselves on Facebook afterwards saying, exactly. I just ran a marathon.
So in those days, you didn't even get a T-shirt or a medal or anything. Or a picture of yourself crossing the line.
Well, we've learned it's probably better you didn't get a medal.
Yeah. True.
Only going to get you in trouble because you've got no impulse control.
If I'd got a medal in those days.
Who knows? Anyway, well, thank you, everyone. What have we got on coming up? We've got the Socceroos Festival. I'm going to be at that, which should be fun. My book is almost out. It'll be in stores in October 30. That's a thoroughly unhelpful history of Australian sport. Thank you to all the people who have bought it already. You can go onto my site and you can buy it now. And if you buy it now, you'll get it before October 30. You also, if you buy it by Friday, the end of this week, you'll go into the draw to win 2 whiskey glasses.
2 whiskey glasses?
With the book title written on them and a few other things.
They're a collector's item.
They are huge.
Get there, straight on Gumtree.
So if you do want to buy it, you can do that. That would be terrific. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I've read the first 20 pages.
All 20?
It's good, yeah.
You've only had it 6 months.
Yeah, I know. I'm working my way through it. No, it's that good, I might even finish it.
It's like a marathon.
It is.
You get a medal at the end if you read the whole thing.
The first 25 Ks are pretty easy.
So we will see you very soon.